Here then was the direst of all human situations. The crime of genocide, the intent to destroy a human group, is regarded as the first, last, and most serious crime against humanity, and its prevention is the single most important commitment of the countries that joined together as the United Nations. There were no sealed trains or secluded camps in Rwanda. A planned and political campaign, the genocide of the Tutsi took place in broad daylight. Between April the 7th, 1994 and July the 17th, 1 million people were murdered. The methods of killing at speed had been tried in the past and were well documented in human rights reports. There was a mass of evidence of its planning, but all warnings went unheeded. Within a few days of the genocide of the Tutsi starting, information was available that the killing was systematic and coordinated. At the end of the first week, the International Committee of the Red Cross estimated that a death toll of 10,000 people killed every day in the capital city, Kigali. After 3 weeks, the Red Cross, in an unprecedented statement, pleaded for the UN Security Council to urgently protect civilians. Throughout May, reports continued to arrive at UN headquarters from UN peacekeepers that massacres continued and there were preparations for more. At the end of May, there was a 2-day special session of the Human Rights Commission in Geneva with detailed testimony to the effect that the Rwandan government and military authorities were involved in the slaughter. The names of the perpetrators were known. It was possible to determine their identity from the highest to the lowest level. The genocide of the Tutsi has recently been called the greatest child slaughter in history. Around 400,000 children were killed because it was easy to kill them. Leaders of the Interahamwe militia, who cooperated with the prosecution at the International Criminal Tribunal for Rwanda, later told investigators how children just ran around in circles screaming and were easy to club to death. It was easy, too, to kill old people. In the Gatwara football stadium, some 2,500 families who had been told they would be safe were entirely wiped out. Western politicians were unwilling to acknowledge what was happening. For the 3 months that the genocide of the Tutsi lasted, not one government called on the perpetrators to stop the genocide. Not one UN member state severed diplomatic ties with Rwanda and expelled Rwandan ambassadors. Not one government called for the representatives of Rwanda's interim government with a non-permanent seat in the UN Security Council to be suspended from the chamber. The government members of the Security Council of the UN could have publicly condemned the interim government hastily sworn into office. But from the start to the finish, the Genocide remained safe in the knowledge there would be no outside interference. The Council member states could have fulfilled its obligations under international law, notably the 1948 Genocide Convention. Anyone who tried to represent a government that was presiding over genocide, in fact was perpetrating it, should have been refused a place anywhere in the civilized world. Instead, there was silence. The combination of revelations about the scale and intensity of the genocide, the failure to intervene to prevent it or to stop its progression countrywide, the suppression of information about what was actually happening is a shocking indictment, not just of the UN Security Council, but of governments and individuals who knew what was happening and chose to remain silent. For 3 months, the British government and the US administration played down the crisis and tried to impede effective intervention by UN forces. There was even reluctance to take the slightest action, such as jamming the hate radio. There are politicians and civil servants who took decisions in 1994 that cost the lives of an incalculable number of people, and they should bear full responsibility. But all governments continue to retain crucial information in their archives. What Rwanda showed us is how little true humanitarianism there is at the heart of states that both possess abundant resources and profess a commitment to human rights. Thank you.